Now, we know that Vince McMahon is a driven and dedicated hard worker. We know how he busts his behind the scenes, no matter if we agree or disagree with his decisions, the pushes, the storylines. But Vince McMahon puts his work in. He is a workhorse. But ladies and gentlemen, is Vince McMahon cutting back? What is the future of Vince McMahon? Is Vince McMahon about to quit? Is he about to just let off? Is this a huge turning of events? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Vince McMahon was backstage at Raw this past Monday, making and marking it the first time in 3 weeks, which is very rare, that we had weeks that he had been at the show. The site report said McMahon missed all of the company's shows on the West Coast as well as the UK tour. So Vince McMahon missed a lot of shows, and he's always usually there all the time, every time, no matter what. No matter if he's sick, no matter if he's had surgery, the guy is a workhorse. You got to give him that. Sources indicated that with Triple H running the show backstage, there was a more relaxed atmosphere as the writers appreciated that. Yes, that's a big burden off the writers, because the writers are like, well, wait a minute here. Sometimes it's a little too much. I mean, sometimes Vince McMahon probably can be a little bit too overbearing, a little stressful. So with Triple H running the ship, it was a lot smoother, all right? The show's storylines continued in the same direction they were headed before McMahon took his break. McMahon is known as a workaholic, and that I give him credit for, a hell of a lot of credit, especially at his age, and, especially the age and the shape that he's in. And it is believed that this may be a sign that he could be starting to wind down a bit, and maybe even thinking about retirement and stepping back and, being there. Not all the time, not every time, but on some occasions just to overlook, just to oversee some things. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is shocking. McMahon returned at Raw for the first time in over 3 weeks. That is a true telling sign, because McMahon doesn't miss any show. Doesn't matter if it's in the States, out of the States, the UK, Canada, Ireland, whatever it may be. Vince McMahon is always there. So, ladies and gentlemen, your comments and your opinions on the shocking backstage development of Vince McMahon missing all these weeks. I didn't even know this. This report just coming in a little over 24 hours ago. Your comments and what do you think? What does this mean? Does this mean Triple H will take over the reins? Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, the creative team. Has Vince McMahon had enough? Is Vince McMahon fed up? Is Vince McMahon done? Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Dunn. Hopefully he be done. I don't know. Vince McMahon, though, when all is said and done, he is still the man that is the creative genius. And although we may not agree with everything he has done, we have a lot to pay our respects and thank Vince McMahon for. There's no doubt about that. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, Vince McMahon is a man among men. Vince McMahon, all right, let's not give him too much credit. No, he deserves a lot of credit. He really does. But it is time. He's getting older. The creative juices, the mindset of Vince McMahon probably isn't as strong as it once was. So the fact that he's starting to miss shows and he's not there as much and not showing as much devotion and dedication, he was probably using that time to be in the gym, because the guy, to be in the shape he's in for that age, is absolutely out of this world. Your comments, your opinions on Vince McMahon's shocking backstage future in WWE. Donate to my Patreon. My Patreon is in the comment section or the description of the video. Any dollar amount will add up, and it will definitely contribute to the show and success of Sean Dream Team and making this my full-time job. Stay tuned. More to come. What do you think about Vince McMahon and his WWE future? Subscribe.